Hello. Today is Monday, May 5th, 2025. This is a sideshow. I'm Theodore Parker and coming to you from Lexington, Kentucky on the east coast of the United States. The weather today be a high of 56. Currently it is 48 degrees with rain showers and feels like 46. So, a few morning showers, highs in the mid-50s and lows in the mid-40s. Rain likely to end around 9:45, and it is currently about an hour before that time here on the East Coast. Question, is joint pain a sign of incoming bad weather? How many times have we heard older people in our family say, oh, my knee hurts, it's going to rain, or my shoulder hurts, it's going to rain? Is there any truth to that connection? Google it and find out. Here in Lexington, expect tomorrow to be the next dry day. Ragweed pollen decreasing tomorrow. Temperatures a little lower than yesterday, 4 degrees difference. Sunrise today was at 6:36 a.m. Sunset will be at 8:32 p.m. The wind currently is at 4 miles per hour, traveling southeast to northwest. And the AQI is good at 23, and pollen is high for my allergy sufferers. In weather-related news, flash flood threat grows in New York City. So today, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo for some. An open invitation to maybe go out and try something different. Maybe have a Corona or a margarita. But don't be surprised if there's a little difference in the prices between the last time that you visited. But anyway, enjoy your day. First off, in the news, the results of the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. Sovereignty was the winner. And in the course of watching the programming, which ran for almost 6 hours from noon until the Kentucky Derby race itself, found out that Arkansas has a Derby, Florida has a Derby, but Kentucky is part of the Triple Crown, Preakness and Belmont included. So, full results and payouts, 3-year-old colt Sovereignty, listed at 9-1 odds at post time, won the 151st Kentucky Derby in 2 minutes, 2.3 seconds on a rainy Saturday at Churchill Downs. Thundering down a sloppy track, they coated every horse and jockey in mud. I think came wide out of fourth to win. I guess that's the proper term. Sovereignty paid $17.96 to win, $7.50 to place, and $5.58 to show. Those are dollar amounts. Jose Alvarado will earn $310,000 for his first Kentucky Derby victory. There you have it. Since we're in the middle of the playoffs for the NBA, I thought I would try something a little different. Approximately 21% of current NBA players have an undergraduate degree, according to data gathered by the New York Times in 2009. This suggests that a significant portion of NBA players do not pursue or complete a degree before entering the league. And I kind of had a curiosity about this because as college players, although some came into the NBA straight out of high school, as college players, in order to be able to participate in sports, and we have to maintain a certain grade point average. So that precipitated the question. Some players may choose to return to school later in their careers, pursue further education after retirement. So right in the middle of the playoffs, here's a list of players who have university degrees. Adonal Foyle, degree in history. David Robinson, degree in mathematics. And not to give the impression I'm picking on them, I do have a college degree. It's as a computer programmer, and I attended EKU, Eastern Kentucky University, occupational therapy, which covers all the therapists come under them, and came out with as a member of the Honor Society for Mathematics. So I do have some personal experience with this time of life. So continuing, David Robinson, Mathematics, Dikembe Mutombo, Diplomacy and Linguistics, Grant Hill, History and Political Science, Paul Gasol. Now this was so, because it's a video, number one, and it just runs the players, and it's only about less than 2 minutes long, so we gotta look and read. But anyway, Paul Gasol, he has some letters under his name, and I couldn't figure it out. But here's the explanation. Paul Gasol did not complete a full degree, but did study medicine at the University of Barcelona for a year before his basketball career took off. While he began a year of medical studies, he ultimately chose to pursue basketball professionally. He later completed get ready for this, an executive program in the business of entertainment, media, and sports at Harvard University Business School. There we go, Paul Gasol. Bill Bradley, American History. Jeremy Lin, Economics. Tim Duncan, Psychology. Jamal Wilkes, Economics. Stephen Curry, Sociology. Chris Dudley, Economics. Shane Battier, Religion. Steve Nash, Sociology. Royale Ivy, Applied Learning. Vince Carter, African American Studies. Emeka Okafor, Finance. Michael Jordan, Geography. I guess he always wanted to know where he was or is. Mason Plumlee, Psychology. Chris Paul, Communications. Shaquille O'Neal, Business Administration. Excuse me. After he retired, he went on to get his PhD in the same field. So, as you watch the NBA playoffs and teams get situated toward the finals, you can keep some of those higher education values in mind. Next on the news, Kanye West and Bianca Censori to sue Beverly Hills dentist for getting rapper hooked on nitrous gas. This is like a thing. As you know, Kanye had diamonds put in his mouth. So this is a celebrity dentist in Beverly Hills. And the price of it was $850,000. But Kanye had to return weekly at $50,000 to receive nitrous gas and some other kind of treatment. So his lawsuit says that the doctor got him hooked on the nitrous gas. So without going any further, I would say maybe he wanted him to laugh when he looked in the mirror. Because I don't know anything about putting diamonds in your teeth, and it's not something that I would probably do. But nonetheless, he chose to do that. There we have it. And the next one. Don't know when asked directly by NBC's Kristen Welker, don't you need to uphold the Constitution? Now, this was a video clip, excuse me, of President Donald Trump's interview with the NBC's Kristen Welker. So you would think, and I mentioned it before, so it's funny that it came back to this. He said that he wouldn't know because he's not a lawyer, but he does have a top-notch team of lawyers who would probably be able to figure it out. Make a long story short. So those are the things that caught my interest in the news for Monday, May 5th, 2025. And surprisingly enough, I looked high and low today and could not find anything listed under top stories. No top stories for today. So I grabbed the first 10 out of the headlines on the media feed, and here they are. Number 1, Trump orders Feds to reopen Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent criminals. Number 2, 5 years of student debt relief for millions of borrowers is suddenly over. And number 3, tomatoes recalled in 14 states due to salmonella risk, Food and Drug Administration says. And number 4, Pence says January 6th attacks failure became a triumph of freedom as he receives JFK Profile in Courage Award. Number 5, Rwanda in talks with Washington on accepting deported migrants from U.S., minister says. Next one, Israel approves plan to capture all of Gaza, calls up tens of thousands of reserve troops. Next, Chevron CEO warns against company's possible departure from Venezuela amid negotiations with Trump admin. Number 8, Trump renews threat of military force to annex Greenland. Greenland has given a response to that. No way. Indigenous people raise awareness about their missing and murdered. Excuse me. I have done a segment on the sideshow previously about this condition and circumstances that goes on with indigenous people, especially to our northern borders in Canada, and especially when a Native American was appointed as Secretary of the Interior during the Biden administration. So that was another opportunity to present and deal with some facts and figures related to this situation. So awareness continues to be raised about it. And number 10, Trump announces 100% tariffs on all foreign produced movies. We want movies made in America again. So those are the top stories, or top stories in the headlines for May 5th, 2025. And I wanted to add one more. And this is a combination of a video of, again, President Trump speaking, but it's Democratic gun control push persists with reintroduction of assault weapons ban. This is something that's close to us, even if it's not close to us. Assault weapons, because most of the legislature that's been coming across has to do with checks and balances. The latest things, 3 things have been introduced, have to do with credit card checks and a couple of other things. But this particular presentation directly addresses assault weapons that can be turned from semi-automatic to automatic, and large capacity magazines or large capacity feeding devices. So here we go. And again, excuse me, speaking on a local level, and although a automatic weapon was not mentioned, over the weekend, Lexington, Kentucky had its 6th homicide. And this is compared back to 2022, when there were 13 for the same time period from January to May. 2023, there were 3. That's when I said the Great Smokeout, the summer of the Great Smokeout. 24 was 5, and now here we are in 2025 with 6 by May. So, Democratic gun control push persists with reintroduction of assault weapons ban. U.S. lawmakers are continuing to advocate for gun control by pushing an assault weapons ban proposal. It shall be unlawful for a person to import, sell, manufacture, transfer, or possess in or affecting interstate or foreign commerce a semi-automatic assault weapon. The assault weapons ban of 2025 stipulates. It also includes the same prohibition pertaining to a large capacity ammunition feeding device. But the measure would grandfather in those who currently own such items. The text indicates that the prohibition shall not apply to the possession, sale, or transfer of any semi-automatic assault weapon otherwise lawfully possessed under federal law on the date of enactment of the assault weapons ban of 2025, or to the possession of any large capacity ammunition feeding device otherwise lawfully possessed on or before the date of enactment of the assault weapons ban of 2025. And I wanted to also kind of take my hat off and acknowledge the courage of these three senators to bring forth this piece of legislature. Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of California, these Democratic Senators Alex Padilla of California, and Democratic Senators Chris Murphy and Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut, in pushing the measure in the Senate, according to a Schiff News release. It also names 37 other Senate Democrats as co-sponsors. There are more than 100 original co-sponsors of the measure in the House, according to Representative Lucy McBass, Democrat Georgia News release. The measure will almost certainly fail to advance to either GOP-controlled congressional chamber. The article continues, many Americans oppose such legislation, contending it would represent an unconstitutional infringement on gun rights protected by the Second Amendment. But during a news conference about the legislation, Padilla asserted this is not about the Second Amendment. This is about saving lives. The NRA pushed back, declaring in a post on X, anti-gun lawmakers insist their push to ban assault weapons isn't about the Second Amendment. Let's be honest, that's exactly what it's about, and it's about disarming law-abiding Americans. The U.S. previously had assault weapons ban in place for a decade. It expired on September 13, 2004, and here we are 21 years later, according to a Congressional Research Service report. Former Presidents Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, and Jimmy Carter joined together in a May 1994 message in which they urged the House's support for a ban on the domestic manufacture of military-style assault weapons, calling it a matter of vital importance to the public safety, according to a Los Angeles Times report. So I just wanted to keep you up on what's going on Capitol Hill and on other places. Again, this is Monday, May 5th, 2025, Cinco de Mayo for some. Opportunity to enjoy something from Monday tomorrow coming out of Kentucky Derby. Again, I'm Theodore Parker. This is The Sideshow. That's it. Hashtag.